Can you imagine that in 2026, the world's only superpower, the United States, could be defeated by a country it has been sanctioning for the past 40 years? Just think about that. A nation with unmatched military strength, global influence, and economic dominance, facing defeat, and not from China, not from Russia, but from Iran. This isn't my claim. That is what Professor Sain says, a man whose 2 predictions about Donald Trump have already come true. Predictions that once sounded unlikely, but today, they are reality. Now, the world is waiting for his third. This war, which will forever change everything. And the more you look into it, the more serious it begins to feel. Because this is not just another conspiracy theory. It is a chilling prediction from a master of game theory, a prediction that is rapidly turning into reality. And if it comes true, within the next 6 months, the money in your bank account could become nothing more than numbers on a screen, with no real value, and the global order may change forever. In this video, we expose a hidden perspective, one that connects war, economics, and power. We uncover how Iran's cheap drones are not just weapons, but a strategy. And most importantly, we ask a critical question. Is Donald Trump pushing the world toward destruction? Or is there something deeper behind this? Professor Sain's first prediction, Donald Trump would win the election again. And it came true. His second prediction, a major conflict between the United States and Iran. And that too happened. But his third prediction is the one that shocked everyone, that in this war, America, the world's greatest superpower, will suffer a devastating defeat. And this isn't just speculation. There are logical arguments behind it. So let's break it down. According to Professor Sain, Iran has not been preparing for this war for a year or 2, but for over 20 years. To them, this is not just a conflict, it is a final war. Last year's conflict gave Iran something valuable: experience. They didn't just attack, they studied. They analyzed defense systems, weaknesses, strategies, responses, and then they prepared. Even diplomatic talks were used to buy time. But here's the real twist. Iran is not fighting directly. Instead, it is using proxies. Houthis in Yemen, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Palestine, militias in Iraq and Syria together. They understand how America fights. And their goal is not just military victory, it is something far more dangerous: to damage the system that supports American power. Instead of attacking the US directly, they target the backbone of its economy. The Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain. These countries are critical to global energy and the financial system. Iran's strategy is precise. They are targeting infrastructure, energy systems, water systems. Over 60% of water in Gulf countries comes from desalination plants. Now imagine this. A cheap drone hits a major plant in Riyadh. Within days, water shortages begin. Within weeks, millions are affected. A modern city running out of water. At the same time, trade routes like the Strait of Hormuz are disrupted. Supplies slow down, food becomes scarce. This is not just inflation, this is survival. And here's where it affects America. These Gulf countries support the petrodollar system. They sell oil in US dollars, which keeps the dollar strong. Then they reinvest that money into the US economy. But if war stops oil flow, their economies collapse. And when that happens, their investment in America stops. The result? Economic pressure, instability, slow collapse. Now the big question, Why can't the US stop this? Because warfare has changed. This is asymmetric warfare, where low-cost tools challenge high-cost systems. A cheap drone can trigger a response costing millions. In one incident, multiple interceptors were needed, and still failed. This is not sustainable. And that's the problem. To defend, America spends more than the attacker. Over time, this creates imbalance. Resources drain, pressure builds, and slowly, the advantage shifts. This is not just military pressure, it's a signal, a system under stress. If this continues, the petrodollar weakens, global trust changes, and the world moves toward a new order, a multipolar world. History shows no regime change happens through airstrikes alone. Ground forces are needed, but America does not want ground war in Iran. Yet pressure is increasing from allies, because if they collapse, the impact spreads. So why did Trump enter this situation? 3 possible reasons: overconfidence, political and financial interests, and a darker possibility that global events are influenced by deeper forces. Whether that is true or not, the consequences remain real. Even if America wins militarily, it may lose strategically. We've seen this before. Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, short-term wins, long-term instability. Now, the stakes are higher, because this is not just about one region. It's about the global system. So the real question is, not who wins the war, but what happens after. A stable world, or a broken one. And are we already seeing the beginning of that shift? Because major changes in history don't happen suddenly. They begin quietly. Small cracks, small shifts, until everything changes. So what do you think? Is this prediction realistic or just fear? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and share. We'll see you in the next video.